Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development is pleased to support New Jersey business owners and their employees through the Shared Work Program. This webinar was created to provide business owners like you with a deeper understanding of shared work, how to submit your application for enrollment, and the steps you'll need to take after your application is submitted. It will also provide you with contact information should you have additional questions. Remember, Shared Work was created to help ensure New Jersey businesses succeed, even when times are tough. After viewing this webinar, you'll have the information and tools you need to take advantage of the Shared Work Program. At the end of each section, we'll pause to highlight key takeaways before moving on. Let's get started. This webinar is designed for employers to better understand the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development's Shared Work Program. In order to do that in the easiest way possible, we've broken this webinar into the following sections. What is the Shared Work Program? Advantages for employers and employees. Eligibility requirements. Application. Helpful hints. Common questions. And resources. So, what is shared work? Also known as short-time compensation, the Shared Work Program is an alternative to layoffs for any employer with 10 or more employees. Shared work keeps an employer's workforce stable during times of economic disruption that results in a reduction in the number of work hours available for employees. It allows workers to stay on the job and continue receiving pay and benefits. The program runs in renewable 3-month increments. If approved, workers whose hours are reduced will still get short-time unemployment benefits to cover those lost hours of work. They'll also continue to receive health insurance and any other benefits they normally receive. Keep in mind, the economic disruption doesn't have to be a widespread event like a recession. It's simply a disruption that affects your business. Implementing a shared work program can help you and your employees get through a difficult time. Programs can be implemented for up to a year. Employers must certify that they will not hire additional part-time or full-time employees while shared work benefits are being paid. If difficulties persist after 1 year, business owners can apply for an extension. Let's take a quick look at how a shared work program can benefit you and your employees. As we noted, the purpose of shared work is to avoid layoffs. And avoiding layoffs does a lot for your business, such as allowing you to keep up your level of service by retaining your skilled workers and keeping work teams together, maintaining employee morale as your business improves. At the same time, you're saving the investment of time and money into recruiting, hiring, and training new employees in the future. It's also worth noting that for some employers, your unemployment insurance tax rate may be lower than if employees were fully unemployed. Of course, avoiding layoffs also benefits employees in several ways. In addition to keeping their jobs and continuing to take home a paycheck, your employees will maintain their health insurance, pension, and other benefits, and their job skills and resume will stay up to date. Again, any reduction in pay will be partially offset by unemployment benefits. Before we move on to eligibility requirements, let's take a moment to review some key takeaways from this section. Shared work. Employees have their hours of work reduced by employer. Employees receive short-time unemployment benefits for the lost hours of work. Employers keep employees working at reduced hours. And employers maintain the employee's health insurance, pension coverage, and other benefits. In the previous section, we covered what the Shared Work Program is, the advantages to you as a business owner, and the advantages to your employees. In this section, we'll cover program eligibility, the basic requirements for enrolling. In order to be eligible for a shared work program, there must be at least 10 employees on your New Jersey payroll, and all tax and wage reports due to the New Jersey Department of Labor must be current. The application you submit may only include employees belonging to a single federal employer identification number, and the reduction in their work hours must be between 10% and 60%. Mixing employees who appear under different federal employer identification numbers is not allowed. But you can apply for a shared work program for multiple work units as long as each unit has at least 2 employees located in New Jersey and the same reduction in hours applies. Once you've determined which of your employees you want to participate in shared work, it is mandatory that you tell those employees before you submit your application. The employees you choose for shared work can include those who are on furlough or those who were previously laid off. In fact, you're encouraged to bring back former employees now out of work and collecting unemployment. If there are any changes in work hours, sick time, or vacation time use for shared work participants, or you return any or all participants to full-time, you must notify the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development immediately. It's important to stress that you may not hire any new employees while participating in a shared work program. Once you've begun participation in shared work, the New Jersey Department of Labor has the right to review your employment records to ensure you're in compliance with program rules and regulations. The New Jersey Department of Labor will determine whether the selected employees will be eligible for unemployment benefits. Let's review the key takeaways regarding program eligibility. There must be at least 10 employees on your New Jersey payroll. Application is for employees belonging to a single FEIN. You may not mix employees across FEINs. Employers may apply for shared work for multiple work units, but each unit must have at least 2 participants in New Jersey. The same percentage reduction in hours must apply to all employees in the unit for all weeks. Reduction of hours must be between 10% to 60%. Employers must notify employees selected to participate in shared work before application is submitted to NJDOL. Employers may bring back furloughed or laid-off workers. Employers may not hire new employees during shared work period. Employers must report any changes to work hours, sick time, or vacation time use to NJDOL. In addition, if the employer returns employees to full employment, the employer must notify NJDOL so that benefits can be ended. NJDOL has the right to inspect employer records to ensure compliance with program rules, regulations, and approved application. The employer must be current with the filing of all tax and wage reports due to NJDOL. So far, we've covered what shared work is and the eligibility requirements to participate. In this section, we'll walk through the application process. Shared work applications are available through your Employer Access account. It is highly recommended for your convenience that you set up an Employer Access account before beginning the application process. You can set up an account at nj.gov/labor/employer access info. Filling out the application should be a relatively short process, with the first page requiring basic information like business name, phone number, and federal employer identification number. On the next page, you'll answer questions that should look familiar based on your knowledge of the eligibility requirements. You'll also be asked whether any of your affected employees belong to a collective bargaining unit. If any of your affected employees do belong to a collective bargaining unit, you must fill out the information on page 3 of the application with approval and signature of the union representative. Next, you'll be asked to describe how affected employees will be informed if your shared work application is approved. Once you've completed the notification section, you'll be asked to sign a certification that the information you've provided is correct and agree to provide all relevant documentation. You're almost there, but not quite yet. Don't forget to fill out the list of employees you've selected for shared work. When filling out this form, leave the week number blank, give a name to the work unit, and fill in how many employees are in the group. Each employee must be individually listed, with date of hire, total hours worked in the first 4 of the last 5 quarters, usual weekly hours, the amount from which you will take the deduction, the amount of the weekly hourly deduction, union status, and employee signature. If employees are remote, you can request electronic signatures or collect consent via email. If you file an application online via Employer Access, the application and the accompanying employee list can be completed together. If you require further assistance, email sharedwork@dol.nj.gov. Then, the ball is in our court. If the Division of Employer Accounts accepts your application, it will move on to the Division of Unemployment Insurance, where we will determine whether each individual employee listed is eligible and the weekly monetary amount to be paid to each. Employers will then be notified by SharedWork. The affected employees will complete an initial application for benefits at myunemployment.nj.gov the Sunday of the first week where there is a reduction in their hours, or as soon as possible thereafter. Employees will receive applicable back payments and then begin receiving weekly or bi-weekly benefit payments. After the initial application, there is no further requirement for the employee or employer to file weekly certifications. It is the job of the employer to maintain records showing hours worked and wages paid. Here are the key takeaways of the application process. Employer notifies employees. Employer completes the application and employee list via Employer Access. For assistance, the employer may contact sharedwork@dol.nj.gov. Employer accounts will accept or reject application within 60 days. Employer Accounts sends approved applications to Division of Unemployment Insurance. Division of Unemployment Insurance determines 1. Whether each individual employee is eligible. 2. Monetary amount to be paid weekly to each employee. Employers are notified by SharedWork. Employees complete an initial application for benefits at myunemployment.nj.gov the Sunday of the first week there is reduction in work hours, or as soon as possible thereafter. Employees receive back payments of benefits, then begin receiving weekly or bi-weekly payments. Employers maintain records showing hours worked and wages paid. Now that we've covered the application process, let's go over some important things to remember and a few helpful hints. Employer should create an Employer Access online account. Start date must be a Sunday, end date must be a Saturday. If an employer wants to change the start date, they must communicate with SharedWork. Employee hours listed in the application cannot include overtime hours. The maximum length of a SharedWork plan is 1 year. The plan can be extended on an as-needed basis. Hopefully those helpful hints were valuable to you. Just in case you still have questions, let's go through some of the things we're often asked to repeat or review. Do I or my employees need to file weekly certifications for unemployment? No. However, employers must maintain records showing hours worked and wages paid, and keep the records available for inspection by the New Jersey Department of Labor. How much in unemployment insurance benefits are my employees going to receive during SharedWork? For example, if an employer is reducing the employee's hours by 20%, and that employee's full weekly benefit rate is calculated at $500, per federal unemployment insurance law, we calculate 20% of $500 equals $100. The employee will receive $100 per week in unemployment compensation under SharedWork. What costs will the employer incur in participating? Usually, any claims for partial unemployment benefits through SharedWork are charged against the employer's experience rating account, just like a regular unemployment claim. Is there an application fee? No, there is no fee to apply for this program. The instructions say the company has to have 10 or more employees. I have 10 employees in New York, but only 5 workers in New Jersey. Am I still eligible? No, there must be 10 or more employees on your New Jersey payroll. If an employer chooses SharedWork, does it apply to the whole company? Not necessarily. Employers can apply for smaller work units, but each unit must have at least 2 participants. The same percentage reduction in hours must apply to all employees in the unit for all weeks. Can I change my employees' reduction of hours if business picks up? Yes, but only if approved by the Division of Employer Accounts. After a SharedWork plan has been approved, an employer may request modifications by filing a written request with the Division of Employer Accounts. Completing a new application may be required. The division will approve or disapprove the request within 30 days. How long does it take for an application to be approved? NJDOL will make a decision within 60 days from receipt of the application. Most of my staff is working remotely. Are employee signatures still required? In lieu of ink signatures, employers can request electronic signatures if possible. Otherwise, they can collect employee consent via email. Employers must retain all emails from employees affirming the shared work program and certify to the state that confirmation has been received from all remote employees. If an employee files for unemployment insurance benefits, will they still be able to participate with the company filing for the shared work program? Will one cancel out the other? There are no laws preventing employees to switch from collecting full unemployment benefits to participating in a shared work program, but they cannot claim both. However, switching is a manual process, and with resources already strained, the payment of benefits likely would be delayed. What if I'm approved but need to change my shared work program? Notify us via email at sharedwork@dol.nj.gov if you would like to change the percentage of work hour reduction, for example, 40% to 20%. An employer may request modifications to an approved shared work plan by filing a written request with the Division of Employer Accounts. Completing a new application may be required. The division will approve or disapprove the request within 30 days. An extension of your current shared work plan. What if I need to change the employees in the program? In New Jersey, employers cannot change employees included in the program. After the expiration of the current shared work plan, employers can submit a new application. How will my experience rating be affected due to employees collecting benefits because of COVID-19? Claims for partial unemployment benefits through a shared work program are charged against the employer's experience rating account, just like a regular unemployment claim. Visit nj.gov/labor/rate-info for more information. The most important thing about shared work is that it's meant to help keep New Jersey businesses and employees thriving. If you have additional questions about how to take advantage of the program, we're here to guide you. You can contact the Division of Employer Accounts at 609-633-6400 or email sharedwork@dol.nj.gov. You can also find information and the commonly asked questions reviewed in this webinar at nj.gov/labor/sharedwork. If you're ready to begin your application, the best way to do so is through your Employer Access account. nj.gov/labor/employer access info. Outside of your Employer Access account, you can get an application at nj.gov/labor/sharedwork. Thank you, and we look forward to serving your needs.